What is going on, everybody? And welcome on into episode 304 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on the OBR streaming network. Listen, the OBR, the Orange and Brown Report, still the oldest, largest independent Cleveland Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. I'm going to put the QR code up on the screen. And so you can hit the QR code there, scan it. That'll take you to the OBR subscription page. If you're not already a member, get over there, subscribe, and become part of the show. And then you get to hang out with us. It's all Browns all the time on the OBR, and then you get to hang out with us on Wednesday nights. It's like the special little getaway. It's like a little vacation where you get to come on Garage Beers and talk about, well, what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Cavs. We're going to talk about NHL trade deadline, because I think the Blue Jackets are going to get rumored and some of that stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're hearing out of Arizona with the Guardians and so much more. So we're really glad you're here, but make sure you get over to the OBR and you hit subscribe while you're doing that kind of stuff. Get over to our socials at the Garage Beers and make sure you hit follow all over there. Yeah, we're just glad you're here. We're excited for a great show. Again, a little bit later in the show, we'll get into the Guardians and we'll get into the Jackets and maybe even a little bit of the Browns. But God, who wants to do all that? But we're also going to start with a great special guest, somebody that it's been almost 2 years, which is wild. But we're going to talk about the Cavaliers tonight, and I'm very excited, and I'm very excited for our special guest. So we're going to get to him in just a minute. But first, joining me as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Joining me, my co-host out in Seattle, it is Joey Whalen. What's up, Joe?
Good morning. I don't know. It just feels like morning.
No, it does not.
Yeah, we are at the footsteps of one of the best sports times out of the year. We're like 2 weeks away from March Madness, hockey playoff push, NBA playoff push, baseball starting. Like, get excited. And there's like football stuff, I guess, but whatever. But yes, let's go.
Yeah, Chad and I talked about it a little bit. You get done with February, and thank goodness for the Olympics, because that at least gave us something in February. Obviously, you get the breaks. We talked about it. When it's all-star breaks for the NBA and the NHL, it sucks. Like, it's not great. It's not great. So you get the all-star breaks. That's kind of a bummer. February is kind of the dog days of winter. And then all of a sudden, like you said, you get to March and start thinking about baseball a little bit. And you start thinking about these playoffs, which we're going to talk about a little bit with the Cavaliers and March Madness. Man, I'm with you. We're making it through the dog days, and it's about to be one of the best sports times, only rivaled by the fall when we're doing football and the World Series and basketball and hockey and all that are starting back up. So, listen, to be honest with you, I have no idea where Chad is. He'll probably just show up at some point. So when he gets here, we'll call him out for being late. But I don't want to waste any more time because our special guest is here. And I want to start talking a little bit about Cavaliers basketball. And there's not a lot of better people. We've become great friends with we've got a lot of great people in the Cleveland area, or some people that aren't even in Cleveland, that just do a fantastic job of covering the Cleveland Cavaliers. And our guest tonight is one of those people. We're going to bring him in right now. He runs things for the Locked On Cavs, and you can hear him every once in a while also on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back into the Garage Beers podcast, Danny Cunningham. Danny, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Man, it's good to have you back. Again, I was trying to remember the last time you were on with us, and I had to go back and look, and it was episode 214 or something like that, but it was May of 2024, and we talked to you basically right as the Cavs were getting eliminated from the playoffs in 2024. Wow. So it was a little bit of a bummer.
You guys must not like me very much if you didn't have me out for almost 2 years.
You know what? Do you know how often that
happens?
Do you know how often that happens to us, Danny?
No, well, the problem is you guys, my schedule is more hectic than I'd like. And to peel back the curtain, we've tried to make this happen a couple of times, and I've been the one that's just I can't make this work, unfortunately. So I'm just messing around. It is on me that I've not been on.
Nah, you know what? It's cool because I just send you emails every once in a while, like, hey, can you do it? But you know what? Here's been the hard part, Danny. This has truly been the hard part for really all of our friends that we've made that cover the Cavs. Last year, our show went live on Tuesday nights, and it felt like every Tuesday night was a Cavs game. It felt like every Tuesday night was a Cavs game. We switched it over to Wednesday, and I think there's been 3 Wednesdays all year that didn't have a Cavs game. So we're
Man,
just
it feels like there have been 3 days all year where there haven't been a Cavs game. Especially this stretch out of the All-Star break where they played 8 times in 12 days or whatever it was. It feels like they've played every day. Like I haven't had time to breathe.
now that they're on I'm not wrong, right? They're on a little break right now. You get a little break. It's 4 days, right?
Mike, 4 glorious days off.
Danny, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this large vacation? I think this
Sleep in,
qualifies.
man.
I think this qualifies as a sabbatical. Is this a sabbatical?
I'm going to take naps. I'm going to go to the driving range. I'm going to still continue to podcast about this team at Locked On Cavs. I'm going to try and go to the gym. I'm going to try and make myself a better person, be a better husband, all those things, because the Cavs don't play again until Sunday.
Oh yeah, you please make sure you say hello to also friend of the show, your wife Brittany over there. I know we used to talk to her when they were doing the podcast. Shout out to the That's What B Said days. Yeah, listen, we're going to talk about the Cavs. We're going to get into what's going on with this team because, man, what a wild ride it's been this year. But Danny, I should have checked this with you before we came on. We didn't start with our beers. We normally start with our beers. Did you bring a beer to enjoy with us on Garage Beers?
I didn't bring a beer. I brought a Sun Cruiser. This is what I had in the fridge. Cruiser. It was this or a glass of Crown on the Rocks. And
both are acceptable.
I mean, I have 4 days off, but I didn't know that I wanted to have a Crown on the Rocks tonight. So
sounds like you gotta get your stock up while you have your sabbatical here.
I don't have enough Crown. Like that was also part of it. It's like if I want to have a drink tomorrow or Friday, like I only have like 3 glasses of Crown left in the bottle that I have. I need to make a run to the liquor store and I just haven't gotten to it. So that's why we ended up going with a Sun Cruiser tonight.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, I think we're supposed to be touching the 70s this weekend. So the Sun Cruiser bringing the warm weather.
I have a tea time on Monday morning. The Cavs have a back-to-back. They play Sunday afternoon and then they play Monday night, which means there will be no shoot around on Monday morning. It's going to be 65 and sunny, and I am playing golf.
It might be 65 and sunny, but I would still highly recommend wearing your most waterproof shoes out there because I think it's also supposed to just pour rain all weekend. So yeah, keep it out of the puddles, man. A lot of water hazards out there.
Yeah, golf in March is better than no golf at all. Just say that.
Love that.
True.
Love that. 100%. All right. So Joe, why don't we kick it over to you? What are you drinking before we dive into the Cavs?
I got a beer from Fremont Brewing here. Extra lush, triple IPA. And it's quite luscious and delicious.
It's extra lush.
Yeah, quite good.
All right. Solid. Where's that brewery?
Fremont in Seattle.
All right. Seattle. Cool. All right. Then I'll swing it over to me, and it's March, so I feel like we can just hit the Irish beers now. So I'm gonna take it down. This brewery, man, just continues to pour out good beer after good beer after good beer. It's Missing Mountain down there in Cuyahoga Falls. Great spot. This is called It's Irish and Whatnot, and it's just a nice Irish red ale. And every beer I have from this place is delicious. It's just kind of a dark red ale, and it's great. It's great. So I recommend if you're at the store and you see Missing Mountain, pick up some of their beers. You will like them. Those are our Garage Beers of the Week this week. You guys get in the comments, tell us what your Garage Beers of the Week are. But now we are going to dive in to the Cavaliers. And Danny, again, it's been a wild ride. Again, you're out of this stretch, out of the break. It's been weird. Like if it can be weird and happen with the Cavaliers, that's the season that's going on, right? Like just back-to-back weird broken fingers have happened, and luckily they happened on the right hands, I guess. You got Donovan out for a little bit. The injury bug is hit, but let's take a bit more of a high-level view of the Cavaliers here, because they make the move for James Harden. They bring in Schroeder and Ellis. You're getting these performances that you're getting out of, again, it feels like Black History Month Jared Allen is transitioning into March Jared Allen, which is great. You're getting these performances out of Sam Merrill and man, oh man, Jalen Tyson. And these guys have so many guys have stepped up and stepped into roles in a season that for the majority of the first part of it felt like they were losing it. Felt like it was kind of slipping away. And it feels like just such new life breathed into them. So just from a high level, how are you feeling right now as we enter March? You get a little bit of a break here, but as we get into the stretch run and the postseason run here about this Cavaliers team?
I think the Cavs should feel like they're the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. And I know that as we're talking right now, the Knicks are playing the Thunder in the last time I checked the score, it was a very close game, and the Celtics are playing the Charlotte Hornets, and they're kind of getting their tails kicked in. They're down by 20 at the end of the third quarter. Although the Hornets have been incredible lately too.
Yeah.
But I look at what the Cavs have done recently, and Sunday against Boston will be, I think, a big statement game for them too, one way or another, just to see where they stand. But they're still figuring out who they are, right? And they've not had Donovan Mitchell now for over a week, and I don't think that groin issue that he's dealing with is all that serious. Like the fact that they were essentially able to get him 2 weeks off and only miss 4 games, which is kind of what's happened here, I think is a really smart thing and something that will pay dividends in the long run. But you watch them on Tuesday night against Detroit, and they don't have Donovan in that game, and Jared Allen plays 20 minutes and 32 seconds, and he leaves with a knee injury. And James Harden is, I think, very clearly right now not himself as he deals with that fracture in his thumb on his offhand, but like that's still a big issue for a guy that handles the basketball as frequently as he does. And they still like played their, I don't know, B- game and led the East leading Detroit Pistons for 43 minutes. And you go back to Friday in Detroit, and they didn't have Donovan, they didn't have Harden, they didn't have Keon Ellis, they didn't have Dean Wade in that game either. And they were a couple of bad calls. And to criticize the Cavs here, some horrific closing out of a basketball game.
Outrageous.
They needed 5 or 6 things to go against them in the final 90 seconds, and all of them did. And that's why they lost that game. But they did, I think I walked out of that arena still thinking, okay, the Cavs lost this game and they missed an opportunity to make a big statement, but they still sent a message. And then you go back a week ago to when they handled the Knicks. I mean, they dominated that game. They won it by 15. And I think that score was very appropriate for what that game felt like. And I just come out of this and say the Cavs are still figuring out who they are, right? Like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell have only played a handful of basketball games together so far. Evan Mobley, I think, is still working his way back, and I think he's looked much, much better lately coming back from this calf injury, but he's figuring out where he fits in. Jared Allen's been awesome, and James Harden, for the most part, has been awesome. But I think if you watch them, you're like, okay, they still have several levels that they can get to that they're not at yet. And I think Boston is really good. I think the Knicks are really good. I think the Pistons are really good. I just look at what the ceiling is for the Cavs, and the big question is, do they have enough time to get there? But I look at what I think the ceiling is for this group, and I don't think that there's another team in the East that has a ceiling that is quite as high as what they have, the way that they're presently constructed.
Talk about, first of all, have we heard anything about, it was this report, they make the trade for James Harden. It threw a lot of people off, just to hear what the rumor was the night before, and then they go ahead and pull the trigger on the deal. And we were talking to Mike Fratello, which was great because he works with the Cavs and the Clippers, so it was great insight when that was happening. But did we ever get insight? I was wondering. I don't remember hearing this, and I try to keep as close to tabs as I can. It was pretty well reported, Danny, that James Harden kind of structured that deal. He kind of facilitated that to happen. He had his people. He wanted to come to Cleveland. This is the move he wanted them to make. Has he spoken about that at all since he's been here, about why he facilitated that deal and why Cleveland? And it's just obviously for us in Cleveland, it's so strange to hear this premier player is orchestrating his way to Cleveland. Has he talked about that since he's been here?
So a little bit in his first press conference in Cleveland, and he talked about the roster. And I think part of it is this gives him an opportunity to go out and win a championship this year. And the Clippers have turned it into this pretty good basketball team, but they started the year 6-21. And I mean, if we can be real with ourselves, and I think you heard Kawhi Leonard talk about this last week, it's like they're not a contender. They're a nice team, but they're not a team capable of winning 4 playoff series this year. The Cavs are. And I do think, too, the Clippers wanted to get younger. They didn't want to pay James Harden what James Harden feels like he's worth next year. And I think that the Cavs are willing to pay James Harden what James Harden thinks he's worth next year. Now, what does that contract look like? Does he opt out of the final year of his current deal and sign a new contract? Maybe that's 2 years with a little bit more guaranteed money, maybe a little bit less annually. I don't know what that's going to look like. But I do think that there's the expectation that James Harden was not, because he did have a de facto no trade clause. He had veto powers, what it's called. So he could have said, no, I'm not going to Cleveland. And I don't think that he goes to a place without a reassurance, like a wink, wink, nod, nod type thing, that he's going to be taken care of on the back end. And like Harden is somebody that has spoken about the financial sacrifices that he's made. I mean, think about when he was, I believe, in China at an Adidas event.
Oh my gosh.
Daryl Morey is a liar. And then said, no, I want to repeat that. Daryl Morey is a liar. That was over financial stuff. And like he wants to be taken care of financially, but he also wants to win. And I think that the Cavs are sort of the best of both worlds for him, where he's in a position where, one, he doesn't have to be the guy, which I think is something that gets overlooked. And I know that, everybody wants to talk about James Harden's playoff shortcomings, and they've happened. He's had some really good playoff moments too that don't get mentioned as frequently.
Right.
But he's not been in a situation, at least in my opinion, and maybe you guys disagree with this, he's not been in a situation where he has been the second best guard on a team since he was in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook all the way back in the early 2010s.
Oh, 100%.
Because even, when he was in Brooklyn, he was better than Kyrie Irving. He was a year and a half removed from winning the MVP. He had made 4 straight first-team All-NBAs. Like, he was a better basketball player than Kyrie Irving. I don't think there's ever been a time when Kyrie's been better than James Harden, truthfully. And I just look at this and say, this is kind of the best of both worlds for James. Now, I don't know that he's been directly asked why Cleveland, but he's talked about those other things enough that I think it's fair to infer that that's why he's a member of the Cavs.
Yeah. So talk about him for a minute. I don't want to make this just about James Harden, but again, obviously that's such a big story and the biggest part of really what really has us all feeling like this Cavaliers team now is championship contender. What's the biggest surprise to you about what you've seen out of James Harden and the way he's integrated with the Cavaliers?
I think how quickly he's been able to develop chemistry, particularly with Jarrett Allen. Like these things take time. And in the past, I've talked with Jarrett about this, about having a new pick and roll partner. Because you think about all of the guys that he has played alongside, whether it's been Darius Garland for a long time, obviously time with Donovan Mitchell. I think Colin Sexton for a short period of time, Ty Jerome last year, even Max Strus operating in the pick and roll at times. Like it does, I think, take both ends of that, both the guy setting the screen and the ball handler. I think it takes them time to learn each other, right? Like it is basically a new relationship, right? I would almost compare it to like the first, especially when you don't have practice time, where I think James has gone through 2 full practices with the Cavs, which just at this point in the calendar on the NBA, you don't get frequently. I think the Cavs are going to practice a couple times later this week, and who knows what James is going to be able to do with that thumb injury. But it's almost like you're starting to date somebody new. It's just the basketball version of it. And I think the thing that has been most impressive is how quickly they've developed that just high level chemistry. And James is one of the best operators of the pick and roll in the history of this sport. There are a few guys that have been better than him at this. And I think that Jarrett is among the more talented partners that he's played with. And I understand that James right now is not the same player that he was when he was an MVP of the league in Houston. He's not that guy anymore, and that's fine. But I look at what he was able to make Clint Capella, and I look at who Jarrett Allen is, and I think, well, Jarrett Allen is a more talented basketball player than Clint Capella. And Clint Capella had some incredible years alongside James Harden. And I look at Ivica Zubac, and I think those guys are pretty similar. But I do kind of think Jarrett Allen has a little bit better touch. Like I think he has better hands around the rim. And I look at this and say, Jarrett Allen is going to have the best 3.5 months of his career, however long this season drags out, whether it's to April, May, June, whatever. He's going to play the best basketball of his career this year alongside James Harden. I didn't think it would click right away, but it's been so good so soon.
Yeah, it's again with the reputation, fair, not fair, whatever. I mean, James Harden comes in with not the most spotless reputation, just for the bouncing around teams and never really getting to where he wants to go and all that. But man, oh man, he's coming here and It's been impressive. It's been impressive to watch. The only thing that hasn't been impressive about James Harden, Danny, and I don't know what it is about this team in Cleveland, because I've said for years now that Donovan Mitchell's been here. I don't know that I've seen a superstar get less of a superstar whistle than Donovan Mitchell get. That dude gets thrown all over the court. He gets hammered. I've never seen more shots get waved off and they're on the floor saying that it wasn't in the motion of shooting when it was like the most clearly in the motion of shooting. And then James Harden gets here, and that's what this dude is known for, right? Even in the year where he's not scoring his craziest numbers, he's getting to the line. What? In LA, he was getting to the line like 9 times a game. Like he's still making it.
I think he was 6th or 7th in the NBA in free throw attempts per game in LA.
Yeah, 100%. Then he gets here, and what happens? His free throw attempts per game, what are they at? 4, 5, something like that? They've been slashed in half.
They've risen a little bit because he's gotten to the line more the past couple of games. Like he took 6 free throws against Detroit. I think he took 12 against Brooklyn the other night.
Yeah, that was helpful.
But the most ironic thing, and I've talked to people about this, is James Harden, as you mentioned, guy who one of the best in the history of the NBA at getting to the free throw line. It is part of what has made him a Hall of Famer. And we could have a debate about how it, maybe not ethical hoops and stuff like that, but like drawing fouls is a skill in basketball. And it's a skill that James Harden has mastered. And in a game a week ago against the New York Knicks, in which James Harden breaks his thumb and plays, I think, 33 minutes, it was the 4th time in his illustrious future Hall of Fame career that he plays 30 plus minutes or 32 minutes or more and doesn't shoot a single free throw. And he broke his thumb in the game. And I just I think that there are people, it's like, of course, this happens when he puts on a Cavs uniform, worst whistle in the league. And it's wild to me that for some of the calls that he has gotten throughout his career, that those have not necessarily transferred to wearing wine and gold.
It is frustrating. All right, off of James Harden for a minute. The other moves that they've made, obviously the other big move was the DeAndre Hunter trade out to Sacramento. When it happened, again, a little bit of a bummer for me just because I went into this year thinking DeAndre Hunter was like the missing piece. And it didn't work out. But they bring back Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis, I'm watching this dude out there, especially the game he played against Detroit yesterday was awesome. And he was like borderline out of the rotation in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And Schroeder, obviously, a guy who I think it should have been clear they need, when you don't have Ty Jerome and now you're trying to make your way, and Craig Porter can be a fun player to watch and all that, but you need a guy that can really come in and facilitate an offense. And the Cavs didn't really have that when they took their starters off and went to that second unit. Schroeder has been, outside of some crazy areas where he kind of gets that loss against Detroit, he made a couple bonehead turnovers. But again, overall, I think his energy is great. He can orchestrate an offense. And then you see what Keon Ellis has done, and I think he's been pretty good on the offensive end, but really good on the defensive end. That feels like, when you talk about the James Harden move being the premier move, but when you talk about those guys and adding what they've brought to the roster, that's the move to me that is really big in making me feel like, okay, they could actually contend for a championship. They're much deeper now.
So I think it's a few different things when you talk about that move, because I do think there was, and I don't take pleasure in saying this, I do think there was some addition by subtraction with getting DeAndre Hunter off this team, because he had not been good this year. For as good as he was last year, after they traded for him, he was having a terrible season in Cleveland. And Lonzo Ball, who I thought was going to be a great fit and was going to do really good things in Cleveland, he was one of the worst offensive basketball players in the entire NBA this year.
Ever.
And it was just, I could not believe how bad it was. Like, the difference between when Lonzo was on the Cavs, the difference between him being on the floor and off the floor was the difference between the Cavs having the offense of the Boston Celtics and the offense of the Washington Wizards. Those are like just opposite ends of the spectrum here. So I do think like that is part of it, is that the guys that, because at the trade deadline, the Cavs traded, I don't want to say they're 3 worst players, because that's not fair.
No.
But they traded 3 guys that were not positively impacting the team. Darius Garland was very clearly not himself, still working through those toe injuries. And he had, like, the Cavs were better when he was off the floor than when he was on the floor. The Cavs were better when DeAndre Hunter was on the bench than when he was on the floor. The Cavs were significantly better when Lonzo Ball was on the bench compared to when he was on the floor.
When Lonzo just didn't come to the arena. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's, and like, again, I don't take joy in saying that, but it's the numbers support that. So I do think that's part of it. And then you look at the trade with Sacramento, and the prize, if you will, was acquiring Keon Ellis. And the cost of that was taking on the contract of Dennis Schroeder, who is thought to have a negative value contract. And I think DeAndre Hunter also had a negative value contract. So the Cavs essentially swapped what we're seeing as bad contracts and received Keon Ellis for doing so. Well, Dennis has been, to me, just as good. And I did not anticipate him to have the impact that he's had. And maybe part of it is the Lonzo thing and just how bad that went and how different it is watching Dennis play. But the Cavs second unit has missed a guy being able to get to the basket. And Dennis, so far, and he's played like 10 games, but he has already attempted, I want to say, twice as many shots inside the paint than Lonzo did in 35 games in the Cavs uniform. Like that, it's just that stark of a difference. And think about the way that game closed last night. Like there were a few plays that I point at and say, the Cavs don't win this game unless this happens. One of them is the 3-pointer Evan Mobley made over Jalen Duren on the left wing. Like that was a big shot, right?
Unreal.
One of the other ones was with a minute 22 left and the Cavs on the floor. They had Harden and Evan Mobley, Jalen Tyson, Sam Merrill, and Dennis Schroeder was that fifth guy closing out, partially because Jared Allen hurt his knee. And Dennis Schroeder is the one with the Cavs up by 3, goes and just blows right past Tobias Harris and has that scoop layup. And I don't understand the physics of his layups. Like, I don't know. And I talked with somebody about this last night and they agreed with this. They don't understand it either. I have never seen a player that shoots the ball near the rim so late. Like it feels like the ball just comes out of his hands so late and it gets up on the rim so quick, because Dennis is not a big guy, right? Like he is a smaller player by NBA standards, but he gets the ball in the glass so quick. And that's part of the reason why his shot doesn't get blocked all that frequently, despite his size. And to see him make that play, and it's like, that is one of the things the Cavs were just missing so badly earlier this season. And it looks different than what Ty Jerome did, right? Like he had that slow motion floater last year that just annihilated teams. And he's a better shooter from beyond the arc than what Schroeder has been and probably will be. But he has found ways to, I think, impact the game on both ends of the floor. And the fact that now you look at this rotation, and one of the things that I think is important when you think about things through a postseason lens is you go, how many guys can be played off the floor because they're either a non-factor offensively and opponents are not going to guard them, or opponents are going to just try and pick them apart defensively. And I look at the Cavs top 9. I mean, obviously, like you have your star players. Is James Harden a great defender? No, he has some positives on that end of the floor. And I do think he's a better defender than Darius Garland, but you can't play off the stars, right? Like Harden, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, those guys can't be played off the floor. Sam Merrill can't be played off the floor. Jalen Tyson can't be played off the floor. And before the trades, that was kind of the group. But Keon Ellis is a 40% 3-point shooter and an elite defender. Dennis Schroeder is good on both ends of the floor. When they get Dean Wade back, he's good on both ends of the floor. Like they now, I think, have so much depth that, and we don't know too what Max Strus is going to do.
Yes.
Like we don't know what that's going to look like when he's going to be back. That is the biggest question, or one of the biggest questions hanging over the Cavs still. But now they have, to me, 9, 10, 11 guys that you can look at and say, those guys cannot be played off the floor in most matchups. And I just think that as we look ahead to the playoffs, that's a really big deal. And that is something that the trades, both trades the Cavs made at the deadline, accomplished.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. And I've also just noticed, like, again, it's a both sides of the floor thing, right? You know, you bring in Harden, you expect the offense. And man, the way people talk about his defense, and you know, I think a lot of people that really watch understand this, but the way some people talked about his defense was like it's non-existent. just his sheer size. Even if he had like the same defensive capabilities of Darius Garland, his size makes him a better defender, but he does some things better. There's some things he's
Well, I mean, you
really
watched
good at.
Jalen Duren try and post him up on Tuesday night, and
No.
that did not end well for Jalen Duren.
No.
Like, those are the types of things, and we have seen this before. And, you know, one of the things I go back to is the game the Cavs won against Boston in Cleveland last year. Not the crazy comeback in Boston, the one they won in Cleveland. And Donovan Mitchell was incredible in the fourth quarter. But what did you watch the Celtics do? They gave the ball to Jason Tatum. They forced Darius Garland to switch on Jason Tatum. They put Tatum at the nail. And Garland did a great job. He was physical. He did all the things you would want Darius Garland to do in that situation. But the Celtics could still come out of that game and say, okay, like, didn't go our way this time, but the process wasn't wrong. And I can't disagree with that. And I just think now it gives teams a little bit less of an ability to pick on the Cavs. And I do think, too, Harden is going to be a better defender, partially depending on who's around him. Like, if he's on the floor and the starting lineup is him, Donovan Mitchell, Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, you have 3 elite-level defensive guys in that group, in Mobley, Wade, and Allen. Does that mean Harden's still not a weak spot? No, he is. But when that's your weak spot and you have just like all defense caliber guys on the wings, that weak spot isn't as glaring. And I just think that is an important thing to think about.
Well, and the other thing that I've noticed just kind of as the year, and I think it's some of the new guys being incorporated in, but I think it's also maybe the Cavs playing a little bit better. And you wrote about this. I have to give you a lot of credit for this because your article was awesome. It was one of my favorite articles I read about the Cavs all year long because I've been screaming all season about this. I call it the no man's land defense that the Cavaliers have played throughout the course of the season, where they are helping when they don't need to help. Yeah. Their eyes are drifting away from their guys, and they just wind up not defending anybody. And in the NBA, if you're not in the spot, they're going to make the pass. It doesn't matter whether it's a skip pass, cross-court pass. If there's an open guy, they're going to find him. And the Cavaliers so often early in this season just got caught 10 feet away from a defender not guarding anybody. Or, oh God, just I can have the image in my head of them coming off and trying to double somebody out near the logo. Like, there's no reason for it. And just leaving wide open shooters. I just notice it much less. You wrote a great article on why the 3-point percentage, they've been so bad defending the 3. And obviously there's some luck to it and teams are shooting well and all that, but it feels like they've really kind of ramped up their defense on the perimeter a little bit here lately.
I agree. And part of it too is something that I don't necessarily know that I wrote about in that story. And I know the story you're referencing, and part of it is luck. Like, at that point, I've not checked these numbers recently. It doesn't feel like they are as bad as they were. There was one point where teams were shooting, I think, 4% better on unguarded 3-pointers against the Cavs than any other team. And like, is that the Cavs' fault? I can't say that it is. Like, that to me screams luck. But I also think about how good they've been offensively and what their offense looked like earlier in the year. Because they were not an elite level offense earlier in the year, and they have been an elite level offense. And to be fair here, this does go back to before the trades. But when you're an elite level offense, it's easier to be better defensively because you're setting your defense. Like, think about how much more frequently you have a set defense, because when the other team's got to take the ball to the net, it takes a little bit of time. It's much easier to get out in transition and find mismatches and hunt stuff like that when you force a miss or you force a turnover. And I think that is part of the reason why the Cavs have been better defensively lately. But like, you're right about they're not overhelping as much. And I think that matters. And I do think too, having Evan Mobley be back, having Jared Allen back there, like, those are things that matter. And one of the things that I came away from writing that thinking is the Cavs have these 2 elite level rim protectors. They kind of need to let them be that. They don't need to help at the rim because they've got Evan Mobley there. They've got Jared Allen there. And I think they've stopped doing that a little bit. And that has led to them not allowing as many 3-pointers, because you look at last night's game and you might just look at the percentage and say, wow, the Detroit Pistons, who are, I believe, 25th in 3-point percentage in the NBA, they shot 37% against the Cavs. You might think that and say, wow, the Cavs really need to clean that up. I look at it and say, okay, the Pistons only took 24 threes against the Cavs. That to me says much more about how the Cavs defended the 3-point arc than the fact that the Pistons made 37% of their threes because they were 9 of 24. One of those 9 3-pointers was a miss that was so bad, it banked in, right? Like Dennis Jenkins banked in a 3-pointer. Ron Holland hit a step back 3-pointer at the end of the shot clock. Just like, you know what? Good for you, Ron Holland. Like those are the types of things, because then when your quantity is so small, let's say they're 7 of 24 instead, and that's 35%. You're like, oh, they did a good job. And the difference is really kind of 2 lucky threes, but when you limit them to only 24 attempts, that to me says that they're in a much better place defensively. So I actually think it's a little bit more valuable to take a look at the quantity they're allowing rather than what percentage teams are shooting against them. Because in the Cavs, like Kenny Atkinson subscribes to this theory that you can control, maybe not entirely, but you can do a better job of controlling how many 3-pointers your opponent takes as opposed to how many they make.
I love that. Danny, I got 2 more quick things for you, and then we'll let you go enjoy the rest of this Wednesday where you're not covering the Cavs. One of the questions, when we first started seeing this new look Cavaliers team, and it became so apparent, you talked about that chemistry with Jared Allen and James Harden, and really, I noticed a little extra pep in the step in quite a few players with James out there, namely Donovan Mitchell. Man, I saw him get much more explosive when he didn't have to do everything. You saw an extra pep in the step of Sam Merrill. I think, and again, still coming off of an injury, but I think the one that I'm kind of excited to see how they really get into it. I'm excited to see how they get the pep in the step of Evan Mobley, because I think we talk about Evan very unfairly. I think most fans talk about Evan Mobley. I think we've used the term unicorn way too much with that guy. And it makes it seem like if he doesn't score 30 and 15 rebounds every night, then he's not playing well. And he's so good. Having said that, I kind of noticed with the way Jarrett and James play together, it is a lot of James just setting up Jared Allen, and Jared just being so good in that pick and roll game and being so good in the lob game and being such a freak athlete. Like, this edition has brought back the freak athlete that Jared Allen is, which is awesome. But I've noticed since Evan's been back, they still are very much kind of giving him the ball and letting him create his own offense. And I'm wondering, this was my question when they first kind of started playing together. How do they get it so that, yeah, Jarrett's getting this boost, but I think Evan should be getting this boost too, because equally a freak athlete, equally good in the pick and roll. Do you notice them? It just feels like they feed him the ball differently. And yeah, he's got a totally different skill set than Jared Allen. But do you think they could maybe be trying to get him going with James, the pick and roll, Donovan a little bit more than what they are, as opposed to kind of getting him the ball and letting him create his own offense?
I think so. I think it's a work in progress, but I will say, like, I think Evan has been better. And I actually just spent 18 minutes on my podcast that'll be out on Thursday morning talking about this. So I'm glad you asked, because I'm very prepared to talk about this, because I just did so for, again, almost 20 minutes. Evan has been, like, he got off to this slow start, and it was fair to be disappointed in what he looked like in the first couple of months of the season. It was fair to be underwhelmed, right? Like, all of those things were very, very fair. And he was asked to be the number 2 option offensively without Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell being the number 1. And like, it just didn't go all that well. And I think it's fair to say that, and it's fair to look back and say, okay, the Cavs could have done, I think, a better job of putting him in better positions and giving him maybe a little bit less, or trying to start him off with where he left off last year, as opposed to throwing this entirely new role on his plate. Like, I think all of those things are fair critiques of the way this year went for him at the start. And then I looked up, because I think that the day the Cavs played in San Antonio and they beat a fully healthy Spurs team, it was December 29th.
Yes.
They were, they had choked away that game on Christmas against the Knicks.
Yep.
They got embarrassed by the Rockets in a game they lost by 17, but was not that close.
Nope.
2 days after Christmas. And I don't want to say their season was on the line against the Spurs, but it was kind of like, if you lose this game, you're a 500 basketball team at the start of 2026, which is a 5-alarm fire for a team that thought it was a championship contender. So they go into San Antonio and they win that game, and Evan has a good game. And that was the first game he started, because you remember coming back from that first calf injury that he missed 12 days, and He came back on Christmas, but he came off the bench, and then he played 20 minutes off the bench against Houston. Well, against Spurs, he was back in the starting lineup. Since then, Evan has been basically, with one exception, one statistical exception we'll talk about, he's basically been the same guy that he was last year. That was a second-team All-NBA player. Since that date, he's shooting just under 65% on shots inside the arc. Last year, he shot 62% on twos. So, like, that to me is a figure that I look at and say, okay, this is Evan getting back to being an All-NBA caliber player. Now, he's not going to be All-NBA this year, and I don't think he deserves to be as of right now. Now, maybe he just goes on this tear for the final month and a half of the season, and I changed my mind. But as of now, like, I don't think he is. But he has been that guy now for over 2 months. The difference is last year he shot 37% on threes, and over this stretch, he's shooting 27% on threes. Now, I will say it's a small sample size, but since the All-Star break, since coming back from the second left calf injury, he's shooting 40% on threes. Part of that is because he went 4 of 8 last Friday against the Pistons. He went 2 of 4 last night, including that big one over Jalen Duren that I mentioned earlier. But like, he, to me, is starting to look like the guy that he was last year. And I don't think it's coincidental that he's also back in kind of this third offensive option role, where now the Cavs have, and I know it's not every night because James has missed time and Donovan has missed time too. Like, that matters here. But when the Cavs are fully healthy, there's just less offensively on his plate. And I think that's going to be really beneficial to him. And the one other thing that stuck out to me about Tuesday night is there were 3 possessions because he only made 5 shots. Now, he did get to the free throw line 8 times, which I think is a really good sign. 2 of those 5 shots were made threes. One of the other one was a dunk in which no member of, like, he just got lost in transition and no member of the Pistons was within 10 feet of him. So I'm not going to give him credit for that one. Like, congratulations. But there were 3 other possessions. There was one early in the game. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th possession of the basketball game where he ended up with Duncan Robinson switched onto him in the post. And Evan Mobley did exactly what he's supposed to do against Duncan Robinson. He just went right through him. He got to the rim and he finished. And it's like, that is something he was struggling with earlier on in the season. There was another possession. I believe this was either late first quarter, early second quarter, but Javonte Green, who is a really, really good athlete, but he's like 6'4".
Yes.
Was switched onto him. And Evan Mobley hit him with the drop step, spin, left-handed dunk. And it's like, that is who you need to be. And then the final possession that I want to mention comes in the second half, and he has Cade Cunningham switched onto him. And Cade is not small. He's 6'8", probably weighs about 220 pounds, strong dude, right? MVP conversation. I don't think he's the MVP of the league, but he's in that conversation and deserves to be so with how well he's played this year. Evan just goes at him, and Cade tries to pull the chair out, and Evan doesn't fall for it. And then Cade ends up fouling him. And Evan didn't finish through the contact, but he got to the free throw. Like, he won that battle. And it's those battles that earlier this season, Evan wasn't winning consistently enough. And now he is. And that, to me, he's not a finished product, but we have, whether we want to admit it or not, and I know that there are people that'll pull up this box score here from yesterday and say, oh, 5 rebounds. He's soft. That's not true or accurate, which is the same thing. But
still both.
Yes, but still both. But
Correct.
He has made, I think, significant steps over the past month and a half, 2 months. And even and this is the final thing I'll say on this, the game on Friday and the game last night, because Detroit is thought of as this super physical basketball team, right? Like, they want to beat you up. They want to grab at your jersey. They want to, like, if you beat the Pistons, you're going to feel it, right? And maybe you disagree with me, but there was not a second in either of those games, Friday or last night, where I sat there and thought, you know what, Evan is struggling with the physicality. Never thought. Did he play perfect? No, but he didn't back down from any of those things. And I just think that this is a guy trending in the right direction. And if he's going to be the 3rd best player in the Cavs, like, there's not a team in the East that has the 3rd best player as good as him. Not even close.
Yeah, 100% agree. And again, I don't think that he gets talked about in necessarily the right light. Everybody was talking about him like he was just sure to be the next coming of Kevin Garnett. And you know what? He's still got time to continue to get better, but he is pretty damn good for what he is, and hopefully his health will allow him to continue trending in that direction. All right, Danny, listen, we're going to let you go. You have said all the things I wanted to hear, including the Cavs are a championship contender, and I full on believe that. But it's been awesome catching up with you. It's been awesome talking Cavaliers with you, especially now that we're not facing elimination like the last time we talked to you. And you gave us a little hope going into the back end of the year. Everybody, make sure you go follow Danny. Make sure you get subscribe to what he's doing. Locked On Cavs is awesome. Your Substack that you do is awesome. A lot of good stuff coming from Danny Cunningham. And again, I gave you crap about this 2 years ago when he came on, but still pretty decent post-game videos.
Thank you.
Certainly in the top 2 in Cleveland. But Danny, man, it's been awesome having you on. Appreciate your time tonight. And yeah, we'll catch up. We won't make it 2 years next time.
Well, I hope not. I hope to see you before 2028 at this point. That'd be cool.
All right, Danny, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys.
See ya. All right, big shout out to Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs, 92.3. Man, that guy dives in. Again, whether it's our boys from Chasetown, Justin and Carter, whether it's Mac, whether it's Danny, we got some great people that maybe aren't super on the traditional media side, but it's certainly in the online media world that cover the Cavaliers. We're lucky in Cleveland to have them. All right. So about halfway through the show, normally about halfway through the show, we do our Asshole of the Week segment. And so without further ado,
bring him in.
It's our Asshole of the Week, Chad Meyer. What's up, Asshole of the Week, Chad Meyer?
Hi, how are you? Okay, here I am. What's did I miss something? Are we ready to begin yet? Is that
just the first hour of the show? It's fine.
What's going on? All right. Yeah. Hi, guys.
When I texted Mike on the side, I was like, is Chet coming for like the second half of this?
That's like, no. It's all right. Just take it out of my paycheck. That'll be fine.
Deal.
Consider it docked. Consider your paycheck docked.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. What's up, man? How do the Cavs? Did we talk Cavs yet? Can we have a conversation or
can we talk? Is James Harden? Can we talk about James Harden?
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No, Danny was great. I know you were in the background for a good chunk of the last part of the interview. I just didn't want it to be weird and like bring you in as we were getting ready to wrap up with him. But
if you would have brought me in, all I would have done was
yeah, Joe did that. That was great.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Only one of us can do that.
Right. Yeah.
Pat, Chad, you're getting some encouragement from the comments. Pat Shea, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
Chad.
Damn right. Thanks for the positive vibes, Pat. I appreciate it. All right. You're better than these guys. Okay.
That's fair. I will admit that. That's fine. All right, let's do our Asshole of the Week. Chad, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, me. Like it's just me. Like I came in with a couple other ideas, but I'm just gonna say me. I mean, listen, lately with the schedule we've been keeping, it's something about the combination of Fletch snugging right next to me and like the blankets in his bed, I just pass right the hell out. Right the hell out.
I don't know what just happened on my screen, but sorry.
You just shared your Asshole of the Week, I think.
I did. I was preparing mine and then I just shared it early.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, it's cool. You're an asshole, but we still like you. Joe, Asshole of the Week.
I don't want to say this particular employee of Home Depot is an asshole because he was a very nice guy. I will say like picking out paints is like the Asshole of the Week. Well, I mean, there's just too many colors. Like we just don't need that many options. I would love like 7 to choose from instead of like 5,000 blues. Anyways, we go to Home Depot and my wife had found a really nice, I will say it, a very nice blue from this kind of more like designer-ish type paint company. And we asked Home Depot to match it. And, he mixes up the sample, comes out, does a little swatch on the lid, and it's just dead ass gray. Like it's not even, there's no hint of blue in it. And we're like, yeah, I don't know if we're going to buy that. It's gray. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, it's gray. He's like, oh, I see. I'm colorblind. And we're like, oh, well, you're probably in the wrong position at Home Depot, my guy.
What?
And so we literally called over another employee to verify because we were like, we don't really want to buy this because like,
oh shit,
it's just gonna go to waste. And she came over, she's like, yeah, that's gray.
oh my god.
The guy wasn't an asshole. It was a funny situation, but definitely paint buying and choosing colors is the asshole of the week.
That's a phenomenal story, though.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I don't know. I'm colorblind. I have no idea.
I want to be a fly on the wall when he just sells every color in that place is gray. Like, this is a nice gray here. This is below it is also another gray, but just a different shade.
It's a different shade of gray. A little darker gray, a little lighter gray.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh, I love it. That was great. All right, it's going to bring it to me, and now I will share my screen because my asshole of the week. Oh God, I hope you guys have seen this. I think pretty much.
I have. Yep.
But my asshole of the week is the McDonald's CEO.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the video, I didn't save it, so it's just going to play on like a Twitter feed. But I'm still going to play it for you. Please enjoy this.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it. Here it is. The Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course, some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, a moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a Big Arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger. But it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's so
boys,
Tough.
boys, unbelievable video. I don't know what parts were my favorite. The fact that I'm just taking a bite here, but I'm gonna eat this for my lunch. I'm gonna eat this.
I promise you, I eat our products. Okay, I promise you.
I'm gonna take a bite on camera the one time, and then I'm gonna eat it later. Totally. Or the look on his face. If you missed it, go back and watch it again. The look on his face when he picks the burger up, and you know what happens with pretty much all McDonald's burgers. You pick it up and all the shit falls off of it. And the look on his face of you got some onions. Crispy onions that just fell off there. He wanted to barf the whole time.
So what we did, we took a double quarter pounder and we put Big Mac sauce on it. But boy, it's going to be called something different. And I'm going to eat this for my lunch right now. And he took the smallest bite. He took the smallest bite.
No, huge bite. Big bite for a Big Arch. What are you talking about? Big bite for a Big Arch.
You could see on his face, though, how reluctant he was. He was like, yeah.
I'm going to really dive into this right now. Yeah.
So anyways, do not need to be on camera. Like, what? With all the money McDonald's has, why are you putting the CEO out there?
Well, I haven't seen him, but I got to watch the videos. I'm going to do it after the show tonight, but I've seen the Taco Bell CEO did a video and the Wendy's CEO did a video like in response to this.
Yeah. So funny.
I'm going to check it out. But this dude,
I'm just like you common folk.
Yeah.
I eat the burgers too.
I'm going to really like this when it is in my stomach. Yay.
Great product. Great product.
Great product.
Like a double quarter pounder product. With some liquid product.
I'm gonna eat this for my lunch. Don't you even think that I'm not gonna eat this?
It is distinctively McDonald's, and I'll also be able to tell it on the toilet later. That is distinctively McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
I will say I do want McDonald's now, so I might grab that after this podcast.
I'm sure it's delicious. Like I would eat it too.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Can we just side asshole of the week? Everybody stops and picks up McDonald's every now and then. Like, I think my side asshole of the week are the people that always act like, I would never eat McDonald's. We know you stop and pick up a chicken
Shamrock
sandwich every now and
Shake
then.
Season.
What are you talking about?
You know, I got to admit, not so much breakfast. Breakfast, I get
Sure.
now
That's
like
fine.
all the time now. I can't tell you the last time I did get like anything but breakfast from McDonald's though.
Their little the breakfast burrito things, those are delicious.
Yeah.
McGriddle.
Oh God, that doesn't do it for me.
Oh,
That's
it's
Just a
Maple
pancake for a bun.
Yeah.
That's what.
sugar sandwich.
Yeah, that's another reason why I can't do the donut burger thing. You know, like that fad. I don't know. I just something about it. Just I don't want to. I don't want a heart attack.
It's not for you.
Yeah.
All right. Those were our assholes of the week. If you got one, put it in the comments. Look, Sean says Burger King did a video too, so I'll have to go look out for that as well. All right, guys. Listen, there's not a wild amount going on, right? We're just back into the basketball season. We just talked about Cavs. We're just kind of back into the hockey season. But I do want to catch up a little bit on hockey because we are also we're at the trade deadline. We're trade deadlining in the NHL. And so I know there's been there was a move tonight that I saw like kind of right before we came on. I didn't really look at the details of it. But let's talk about the Blue Jackets. And I don't Chad, you could wow. You just a little late on the mute button there.
You're welcome.
It's like those videos of like the kids in high school that try to cough to cover up a fart, but they cough too early and then they fart afterwards.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. I don't know if we're talking about the NHL trade deadline. I don't anticipate anything crazy coming out of Columbus. Do you? Like, I don't anticipate this being a wild trade deadline for the Jackets.
If there is, it's going to be something significant, right? Because I think where this team is at right now, I think Don Waddell wants to add to it. I mean, I've seen Kent Johnson's name floating around out there for a while. But if you're throwing around somebody like Kent Johnson, I think there could be kind of a trickle down type of deal, right? If you get rid of Kent Johnson for some sort of package, and then you package that deal for a big fish. So if something's going to happen, it's going to be something like that. There's not going to be like a ton of trades, but if everything I'm reading and hearing and seeing reports of, if something does happen, it's going to be something significant, and it's either going to be down the middle or for a big time defenseman. I mean, and if it wasn't apparent that this team needs some depth and some better top six defensemen, top four defensemen, then these last couple of games that Zach has missed, then I don't know what to tell you because Kirill Marchenko was playing defense these last couple of games.
It's not great.
No, it's not great. So they need some more bodies there. So I'm not going to say that it's going to be crazy, but if there is going to be a deal, it's going to be for something like that because with the way this team is and where they're positioned at right now, although they are, God, the East is so damn good, man. But they're in the 12th.
Well, they're right in the middle of it.
They're right in the middle of it, right? So I would say that if it's going to be something, it's going to be something significant or nothing at all.
Yeah, I agree. Like again, they're right in the middle of it. What do they have? 70 points right now.
70 points. You know how crazy this is how good the East is. Right, if they just did top 12 seeds in the NHL, the Jackets would be 12th right now, and only 3 of those seeds would be from the West. Would be coming from the West.
Yeah,
because I think they're sitting in the 9 seed right now, which was where they ended last season.
Yeah, yep.
So they're 1 seed out of playoff positioning, and again, it's still kind of early to be talking about seeds out of playoff positioning or whatever. But like, again, you're only 3 points behind Boston. You're 5 points behind the Islanders, Montreal, Pittsburgh. You're 7 points behind Detroit. Like you are in striking distance of pretty much everybody except for maybe 12 points. That's all that's separating the 9 seed Columbus Blue Jackets from the 1 seed Carolina Hurricanes is 12 points.
Yeah.
And that would be that's not. I'm not even suggesting that, but like there's plenty of room for movement there. So, are there names, Chad? Would there be names that you would have an eye on that you think could be available? Like if they were to take a swing, if they were to put together a package and say, we really want to take a big ass swing to improve our hockey team, like what kind of names would you be looking out for?
I don't know any defense as far as defensemen go. I don't know any names out there that would be available that I would venture that they would take a big swing on. But a big time rumor that I hear is Robert Thomas out of St. Louis, and just make them that much stronger down the middle. If you can make him your number two center, and then you have drop Coyle down to third. Right. Or, I mean, hell, even Robert Thomas is even a first line center. But if you can do something like that just to increase your offensive power, right? Not that this team has to be able to score more goals, but with Robert Thomas, you add a 200-foot center that is a big time playmaker and can put the puck in the back of the net too. So he's an all around just incredible hockey player. So that's a name that I look at that would be something significant, especially from a team like St. Louis. Who is just not in a good spot. I mean, they're selling big time. I would look at something like that if I were the Jackets. But I mean, you'd have to get back to me on as far as defenseman goes, because I'm just not sure of any big time names that would be available.
Yeah, it just the Jackets have done a little bit over the last couple weeks of what they did to themselves last year when you thought they would be in the hunt for the playoffs, and they were all the way till the end, but they would sometimes just take those 2 steps back. And man, oh man, was that this last couple weeks, those back-to-back games, those losses against Boston and the Islanders, when those are the 2 teams directly in front of them. And those were 2 games that the Columbus Blue Jackets should have won, and instead they fumbled those away. It really doesn't matter the way they won the Rangers game, because the Rangers are the bottom team in the Eastern Conference. But still, you go into that Rangers game, you're up 4-0 going into the third period, and you give up 4 goals to the Rangers. You get the overtime win. That's really what mattered. But man, oh man, the game last night was a decent bounce back to get that win in regulation over Nashville. But there's got to be something that clicks. This again, it just feels like we're watching what they did last year this year, right, Chad? Like it feels like it's continuing on, and there has to be some level of growth somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why, I talked about in that Rangers recap that I wish they didn't go on Olympic break, because before that, the Olympic break,
they were unstoppable.
And they were playing the type of defense that a playoff team does. They were cutting everything off in the middle, right? They were giving up. They weren't giving up the net at all, the front of the net at all, and that's what was causing them to go on that large winning streak. But they failed to do that against the Rangers. I mean, right, the Bruins game, you kind of understand, right? It's the first game back from break. You did outplay the Bruins, but the Bruins were just opportunistic offensively. And then Korpisalo, our old buddy Corpy, was standing on his head that entire game.
Oh,
right, and which happens, right? When you run into a hot goaltender, there really isn't a whole lot you can do, right? They were able to sneak 2 past him, but there's not a whole lot you can do. But that Rangers game made me want to puke. That Islanders game. Well, yeah, okay. So even after the Bruins game, the Islanders game, right? The goals they gave up, the Jackets actually played pretty well, especially defensively. The goals they gave up were just lucky bounces that went the Islanders' way. So, which in years past has been also a story of the Jackets, right? If they weren't playing bad defensively, they were just unlucky. But the fortunate thing though is, I guess if there's one positive spin I can take from the way that Rangers game is, when that happens, when they give up the lead, they even if it goes into overtime, they usually would not come away with the extra point, and they did. They found a way to do it, and they kind of got back on track against Nashville last night. They played better defensively. They were getting the puck out of their own defensive end quicker than they were against the Rangers. So you did see some progress, but they got a tall task against Florida tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, the Panthers, this might be a season the Panthers are punting. I mean, there's rumors all over the place that they're going to be sellers coming up at this deadline. So I'm very interested to see how that works out. I know Bobrovsky has been a name being floated out there about getting traded away from them as he's a pending free agent. So it's going to be interesting to see where the Panthers go from here. So, but the Jackets have a chance to make a statement game tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they do it again. Trade deadline. When is the official trade deadline? When's that happen?
Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. They all do it on. Can't we just pick like Thursday's trade deadline day in all sports?
Yeah,
Friday in the NHL is the trade deadline, so we'll see what they come up with. Again, in the sports world, not a ton else going on at the moment. We're gearing up for World Baseball Classic. Did you guys see that? The poor Colorado Rockies was like hosting the Team USA baseball team. And they, I think all of Team USA baseball just hit home runs. The combine happened, boys. My favorite event of the year. What did you guys think of which now that the combine has happened and you know which players are draftable and undraftable? It's the single greatest sporting event in all of human history, correct, Chad?
Wait, say that again. I was looking up defensemen I want for trade.
Did you fall back to sleep?
I did for a minute there. I was perusing options for the Jackets.
I said the NFL Combine has come and gone. Which player that you had never even thought about before do you think is just going to be Browns number six pick now because of how fast they ran in a straight line?
Mike Rithgen did amazing in the bench press. He had a 27-foot broad jump and a 33 second shuttle. Amazing. Yeah,
dude.
I'll take it seriously. I was really impressed by DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
What?
He's back in the league. Here we go.
He ran like a 3.9.
He went back. Yeah, he went back to the combine and started working out. Unreal.
40 reps on the bench press.
I'll take this seriously. Oh God, I do not understand why that gets what it gets.
It sucks. It's the worst event ever.
I had people arguing with me.
Why?
I had people arguing with me because I think the combine is the dumbest thing. I made a comment about it on Twitter, and people were like, "Yeah, well, Mike Washington probably thinks differently." The running back from Arkansas that ran like a 4.33 40. Listen to me. If you had a third round grade on a guy and then he went to the combine and ran a 4.33 40, nothing about that should change your grade. What are you talking about?
Look, if your GM has a 100% hit rate on their picks, then yeah, maybe the combine is the most important thing in the world. But okay, a guy moves up from the third round to the second round because of how fast of a 40 time he ran. You still don't know if he's going to work out.
No.
Yeah.
And how often does that ever work? How many times have we seen it? Year after year. Go back to like Darius Hayward-Bay with Oakland. Go back to Anthony Schwartz with the Cleveland Browns. Every year there's some dude that burners the 40 time, even though it's like, he was okay in college, I guess. And it's like, boom, we're going to overdraft the shit out of that guy because he ran a 4.3 something 40. Doesn't make him a better football player. I also, on the other side of things, like I have watched, and I think Mekhi Lemon is, to me, the most exciting wide receiver in the draft. And I have watched so many people come to that same conclusion. And then I watched those same people when Mekhi Lemon's arms got measured and they were like a half an inch shorter than what they thought they were going to be. I watched those same people go, well, that's a concern now. I don't know if I would take Mekhi Lemon now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Watch the film.
They are people, and I'm talking about like people that when I see them talking about football, I'm like, that person knows what they're talking about. I'm talking about people that I think, like, I have respected their opinions. And I'm sitting there reading their comments going, it is stunning to me how people are willing to put the same amount of weight on what happens at the combine that they put on what you just watched in a football season on like top level college football.
Yeah.
It is stunning to me how people are willing to just. I saw it with Kevin Concepcion from Texas A&M. I saw somebody being like, he ran his like gauntlet drill, and I saw somebody be like, well, 7 out of those 8 catches are clap catches. Like instead of having his hands like he was like clapping. Do you watch football? How big do you have to be such a nerd? Do you have to be such a nerd, or can you just watch football and make a decision on how good these players are? Not one time in the history of the combine has somebody's 40 time meant they were going to be a better football player. Not once, ever in the history of the combine has that ever happened. I understand why the combine happens. I think getting the numbers and the measurables are important. It's not the element of the combine that bothers me. It's the way everybody talks about the combine. Like, who's going to improve their draft stock? Nobody. Nobody should improve their draft stock based on what happens at the combine. And nobody's draft stock should be not improved.
Well, it depends. I mean, that depends. If you're going to go out there, I'm going to just take the 40s because that's the easiest exercise that they do there in their little workout class. But like, if you ran like a 7.5 40 and you're a wide receiver, it might be a little like, well, that's kind of weird.
That nobody would be at the combine if they did that, Joe, because they wouldn't have played college football.
Yeah, exactly.
But think about it. Think about the running back that the Cleveland Browns drafted last year. Did you name Quinshawn Judkins? Did he have some kind of blazing 40 time? No, he's not really all that fast of a straight line runner. Would you draft him again if you had the chance?
No,
I sure as hell would.
No, because he ran slow at the combine.
Because he ran slow at the combine.
Yes.
I sure as hell would.
Puka Nacua ran a 4.6 and he dropped down to the 5th round. That's just the NFL, man. Nobody makes it simple anymore, right? Everybody thinks that they're the smartest guy in the room, and you have to nitpick at everything. But between all that and like the NFL draft, you can't believe anything that you read, see, hear. It's tough to distinguish between what's smoke and mirrors and what's not, because everybody's trying to jockey for position to trying to take somebody. So it's one of the more fun and frustrating like seasons of football, right? Because you're just so excited to see what players you get, but you never know what a team is thinking because they're always trying to outthink each other and nitpick at these players to try to either get a team off of a guy or jockey for position to take a guy. So it's crazy, but I believe me, I don't know why everybody goes so nuts over the combine either. I don't.
Speaking of just football news, just for a minute, and then we'll just kind of do our cheers of the week, and we'll actually end the show on time.
Oh, by the way, I just looked up defenseman. I would take Oliver Ekman-Larsson on this Blue Jacket team in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Heartbeat. He's cost effective. He's signed through 28. He's still producing at age 34. I would take as an offensive defenseman. I would take him in a heartbeat. Okay,
sign me up.
Yeah.
We're gonna find some stuff out. We're gonna find some stuff out about our Browns and the NFL. Really starting Monday at noon. So get excited for that because that's the legal tampering period, but that's when you just find out where everybody's going to sign because it's the dumbest. Again, there's just so many dumb things. The legal tampering period.
Yeah.
As if these people haven't already, they don't know where they're going now. It's so stupid. But the Browns make a trade. So they bring in the tackle from Houston. So they're already addressing the offensive line. I know people didn't get real excited about it. What's it? Titus Howard. Yep. But like, I am excited about it. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's the best player. I made this point on my last show. You're not going to put 5 Pro Bowl or forget Pro Bowl. God, I never want to say those words again. You're not going to put 5 all-pro offensive linemen together. That's not how you're going to build a good offensive line. You need to find 5 good offensive linemen that come together and make a really good offensive line. And I think they saw something in Titus Howard. I think they saw something with the Texans. Texans do not pay offensive linemen once they hit 30. It's like their running thing. And they got him for a 5th-round pick. And boom, just like that, one of your tackle positions, he could play either way. One of your tackle positions is taken care of. We still have no idea what the rest of the offensive line is going to look like. But I do think Andrew Berry makes it very clear with that single move that this offensive line is getting a full revamp this offseason. And I would expect more of those moves. We'll see what else they decide they want to do. I mean, I think there's interesting moves. What are they going to do with Martin Emerson? That, to me, is like kind of top of mind. What are they going to do with Devin Bush? That is also top of mind, especially with the understanding that JOK is probably never returning. So Devin Bush was pretty awesome last year. But I'm kind of excited. It's part of the fun of football is I think football does a pretty good job of like keeping it so that there's always something to talk about through the offseason. It's like once the Super Bowl ends, you get like a 4-week stretch where you don't really care what happens, although that's when coaches get fired and hired and all that. But I think football does a pretty good job of like keeping the train moving. There's always something to talk about. Like we do this show next week, and there is going to be an ass ton of football related things for us to talk about.
How much is an ass ton? Like, is there a metric that is you go
a little bigger than that? Yep, right there.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah, something tells me, not even so much free agency, but something tells me that there's just about to be a shitload of trades going down because you see all of these cap casualties, guys who are maybe on the block or like I said, cap casualty lists. I feel like we're going to see a shitload of trades along with the free agency period too. So I'm excited for this. I really love any sports except for baseball. I love all the sports free agencies and trade deadlines because it's just especially lately, it's just so manic. And, right? It's just a bunch of chaos and it's nuts and it's so much fun to follow.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll dive into that a little bit more next week. Obviously we'll have more Cavs. We'll have more. We'll react to anything the Blue Jackets do, and obviously stay tuned to or tune in to our socials. At the Garage Beers, the TikTok channel always does well over there, so go follow the TikTok channel. As I'm sure if there's any moves the Blue Jackets decide to make, Chad will have a good recap video up there. But boys, why don't we do our cheers of the week, and then we'll just call it a night here on episode 304. Chad's got to go back to bed.
To get out of here. I got to try. I had a nice little power nap. I'm awake now.
Heck yeah. I will lead us off with our cheer of the week, and my cheer is going to be to a Cleveland legend that we all got word passed away this week. If you ask me my favorite restaurant of all time, it will always be Sokolowski's in Cleveland. Pierogies to die for, the food to die for. It still tears away at me all the time that place closed during COVID. And all I want is for some investor to tell me that they'll just put the money up and I'll go run it. Like I'll go open it back up and run it. I need somebody to put the money up to do it because nothing's the same without Sokolowski's. Found out that Mike Sokolowski, one of the 3 siblings that owned and ran Sokolowski's, passed away. And just a guy that I had a few interactions with, a guy that was always a friendly face, always made sure the bar was humming when you were waiting in that big long line. He made sure that beers were getting passed out. But I don't know, it just made me miss Sokolowski's. And he was such a big face of it. So a cheer of the week goes out to Sokolowski's and a lasting impact and a lasting legacy that Mike Sokolowski leaves behind. So he gets my cheer of the week.
Gonna make me want to make some pierogies.
Whoa, there you go, Joe. Joe, who do you got?
I'll just go ahead and cheers my wife. We had our 3-year anniversary last Wednesday, which is why I was not on the show. We also just got a house here in Seattle, so we're moving in a couple of weeks and excited for the new crib and our first home in the new spot.
Hell yeah. Cheers to that, Joe.
We're at in Seattle. Where are you at? We're at
Renton.
Renton.
I'm in Bellevue right now, so city south of us.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. I saved yours for last, Chad, because I have a feeling I know what this is going to be. So, Chad, why don't you share your cheer of the week?
Oh, I mean, mine goes to another Ohio legend, Lou Holtz, man. I mean, obviously nobody liked his Buckeye takes over the last couple of years. It's fine, but yeah, I mean, obviously the man was a legendary coach in Ohio, and he just
turned off the lights, Chad.
Here we go. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, obviously I made light of him, and on the last couple of over the last couple of years, and it's fine. I had a whole thing set up, but like I was hopefully that light was going to turn out and my face was going to go black again, and I was just going to do my Lou Holtz thing, and it didn't work out. I had a whole bit planned, but it didn't work out.
Why don't you do it?
I was going to ask if there's any parting words that he has.
You got it. You got to give us some parting words from Lou.
No, guys, listen.
Respectfully,
I can't. Like, there's no parting words. I mean, the man is dead. How can I just? How can I? Oh, hey, everybody! Hello.
Is this Lou?
Are you guys there? Oh, is this the Garage Beers podcast? This is Coach Lou Holtz. From I was informed that I heard that there was going to be cheers for me tonight on the Garage. Is this the podcast that was going to cheers me? Is this guy?
This is it. This is it. Yeah, we're giving you the cheers, Lou.
Oh, how's it going? I'm relatively pain-free up here in heaven already, although I just ran into Coach Woodrow Hayes. He didn't really appreciate my Buckeye takes over the last couple of years. He socked me good in my right eye, but getting punched in the face up here in the afterlife is just like being in a dentist chair. You feel it, but you don't feel any pain anymore. You feel them there, but you just don't feel any pain. So Coach Woodrow Hayes and I are back together again, but he got me good. I'll tell you what there, but it's good to be here, guys.
Lou, man, it's so good to have you, and it's such an honor, and you've provided us with a lot of laughs over the years, and you'll continue to do so respectfully from beyond, Coach.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, I got to look over my family. I'm down there in East Liverpool, Ohio. Now, of course, I'm going to look into the University of Notre Dame. But everything is, even though I'm gone now, that's still not going to change the fact that Ohio State is still a soft football team. They still will be as long as Ryan Day's the coach. If he's looking for me, by the way, I'm not there anymore, Ryan. You're going to have to pass away yourself to come up here and meet me. So that's just that. But I'm active up here anymore. I'm going to start to coach a football team up here. Have you guys ever heard of a guy named Gale Sayers and Brian Piccolo? I'm going to have them on my football team up here, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to get started up here at coaching football.
All right, Chad, come back. That was awesome. Coach Lou.
Oh, is it over right now? Okay, so hey guys, hey, did
that was weird.
Was it?
Oh no.
I stepped out and went to the bathroom. Did anything happen?
It's so funny. Right, Dave, you're looking for me. You're not gonna find me. You're just gonna have to come to the afterlife yourself.
Oh, Chad, it was awesome. No, again, respectful cheers. And
yes.
Chad, it's one of the great impressions. Your Lou Holtz is spot on, and you have brought us so many laughs with it over the years. And obviously, Coach Lou passed away today. And what a character, what a football coach. But, man, you nail that every time. And certainly not coming from a place of disrespect. But, man, he brought us a lot of joy with that, too. What a guy. What a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to see if I can get him back here? Or?
No, please.
Okay.
No, we're good. Don't channel him again. I'm sure there will be more times. All right, that's going to do it for us here on episode 304 of the Garage Beers podcast. Our last order of business, just to give out our thank yous. First thank you goes out to the OBR for hosting us. Really just always love coming to you on the OBR streaming network. Make sure you get over to the OBR.com, hit subscribe, become a part of the largest and oldest independent Cleveland Browns coverage site, but clowns too, I guess, coverage site in all of Cleveland, the OBR. Get over there and subscribe now. Thank you to everybody that tuned in with us live tonight. And if you can't catch us live, make sure you tune in. Go pick up the podcast version, watch us on YouTube, Twitch, wherever. Just make sure you kind of hit follow, hit like, subscribe, wherever you're watching or listening. But we appreciate you for listening and tuning in. And again, big thank you to our special guest tonight, Danny Cunningham from Locked On Cavs and from 92.3 The Fan. Danny was great talking about the Cavaliers, diving in, getting in depth on some of the stuff going on with the Cavaliers. And I think there's just a lot of exciting things ahead for the Cavs. That'll do it again for us for episode 304. We'll see you next week for episode 305. But for Joey out there in Seattle, for Chad on the east side of Cleveland, I am Michael Keefe. It's been a ton of fun. And until next week, cheers, everybody.